Hello again, and welcome to episode 4 of Improving at League of Legends. I'm Lesothothebrave, and this is my journey to Platinum and above by reviewing my games and commentating on them so we can get better at League and get that elo. If you enjoy this commentary, please like and subscribe so you can keep up to date on my League of Legends journey. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is make a game plan for the matchup we're in. I'm playing Miss Fortune here with a Thresh Support against Xayah with a Senna Support. This is a tricky matchup since both sides rely on poke, and Xayah has such self-peel once she hits level 6 it makes it a little bit difficult for us to pin her down. Our focus in lane should be to poke down whoever allows us to while taking as little poke back in return. Most of all, we need to avoid the snares Xayah has with her E and Senna has with her W. They outdamage Thresh and Miss Fortune in the poke war as far as consistent damage, but we have more all-in potential. During the loading screen, I've recently started making notes on the matchup so I can have a plan going into laning phase. I think this is an extremely beneficial practice that is going to lead to winning lane more often, as well as improve my overall gameplay, since it helps me recognize both my and my enemy's strengths and weaknesses. So here's my game plan for this game. 1. Don't die. Our main goal as an ADC is to do damage, and we can't do that when on a gray screen. 2. Get as much farm as possible. This is our most reliable and controllable form of income. 3. Avoid poke and snares, primarily from Senna's Q and W and Xayah's E. 4. Look for pokes with Q. And 5. Look for trades whenever Thresh goes in. That's our best time to all in. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so pretty standard start. They tried to invade us. We avoided it. And we just played safe, which is solid. We got the early ward, which helped out a lot. And we leash Kane, pretty uneventful. Alright. Okay, so Thresh got a hook on the center there, and we autoed her just so we get a little bit of poke down, but we don't want to stay too long because then she can trade back onto us. Okay, important thing to note, Xayah did not care about her support's XP at all. She killed the first 3 minions without Senna being in XP range. So she hits level 2 first, but the Senna is very vulnerable. So that lets us get the level 2 advantage, which is nice. Got some good poke on the Senna. Just farming. Putting out an early ward in case we get ganked, just because Lee Sin is known for ganking early, because he's very strong early. And avoiding the Xayah E. Tiny bit of chip damage onto the tower. Okay, so we see Lee Sin here up at top lane, so we are free to shove this lane in. Not a bad thing to have them shove to us though, because that can make them overextend so that we can get a better gank off. Okay, Thresh gets a great hook here. This actually goes really badly for us because we don't focus the same people. Let's watch that fight over again. This could have worked out really well for us and just snowballed the lane in our favor. But I played this pretty badly. First, I think he's going on the Senna. So I try to get on the Senna, but then he hooks the Xayah. And I think he ignites, yeah, he ignites the Xayah as well. So then I switched over to hitting the Xayah. But what that did was it made it so I wasn't able to finish killing the Senna. Thresh dies. I don't think I'm able to catch up to her because I'm low on mana now. I used everything on Xayah. I can't do anything. And we just try to run over to get this kill. But at this point, I should just abandon it. I should just leave. But I die. So I overstayed there because I went for the secondary target. So we made one of our goals going for the Senna, and we were not able to, we didn't finish up the kill on her. If we'd killed the Senna first, then Xayah has to back off. We can shove this wave in, get a great lead, and potentially go back and get like double longsword at 4 minutes, or yeah, 4 minutes ish. And we just have a big lead, and then we just have a big lead over Xayah, and Thresh would still be alive, so we could potentially kill the Xayah, but we squandered it. So let's see what happens next. Now, Kane does go by and get a kill. He finishes off the Xayah for us, or not the Xayah, the Senna for us, but overall, could have played that better. So I know Xayah backed, so I just want to shove this in, get it to towers as quickly as possible. So we've already screwed up a little bit, but it's okay. So I think we get a kill. Yep. So we went back to our game plan. Had the Thresh. When the Thresh gets a hook, we go in with him, and he was able to flare back, so we're just able to get an easy kill here. And we don't have to be afraid of a Lee Sin gank because our Kane is right here, and that works out nicely. We're keeping up. We've got a little bit of a CS lead, so we're doing good there. And we see Lee Sin, so we just duck out. Or I try to duck out. And yeah, we just do. Okay, so we're doing good things. Cinder gets a nice kill. Keeping up in CS. Now, you'll notice I have double longsword, and then I have full boots. So my boots cost 1100 gold, and Caulfield's Warhammer also costs 1100 gold. I chose to get the 2 longswords and the full Zerker's Greaves because the Zerker's Greaves give us a lot of chase potential. They give us a lot of early damage, and Caulfield's Warhammer doesn't actually provide a lot of value over the 2 longswords. You're getting 5 AD from just having the 2 longswords to getting the Caulfield's Warhammer, and it costs 400 gold. It's less than 1 more longsword. 1 more longsword gets you 5 extra AD, so it's just a very inefficient item. So you don't want to finish off Caulfield's Warhammer until after you get the other components of Essence Reaver. Just a small tidbit. I've been researching that and I wanted to share. So back to the mission, getting as much CS as possible. We're just kind of keeping the lane even here. Kind of seeing if Xayah's going to push. Senna pushes it for her, so she doesn't really give her a choice. Able to dodge everything except the snare. So we prevent ourselves from taking a lot of damage there. That range is just insane on Senna Q. Remember thinking that at the time. Okay, my Kane's here. Get a nice ultimate off for poke. We don't end up killing anybody, but we got good damage off, and I think Xayah flashed for that. No, she didn't. Senna flashed. I used my flash early there just to prevent myself from dying. Just playing towards number 1. If TF hits me with gold card there, I just instantly die, because they're able to just lock me down with all of their CC. I think this goes well for us. We get an assist on the Twisted Fate. And then we all get killed. That's right. So this was unfortunate. Kind of got baited, and we didn't have any vision here. So we weren't able to see the Lee Sin until it was a little bit too late, and that just set the Xayah up to just be very strong. She's 3-1 now. I'm 1-2-2. So she's a lot stronger than us at this point. So we have to be careful. And we spawn. Just took a lot of plating off of our tower too, so just got to be very careful about how we play the next couple of fights. Secure an easy dragon, so we shoved that up. Pause for a second here. We shoved this lane in so that she had to push it back, and while she was dealing with that, we were able to just come up, help our jungler get a free dragon there. We don't know where the Lee Sin is, but even if he comes to us, it's 3v1, 3v2 if Senna abandons her AD carry, and worst case 3v3 where we can just back off or just go for the 50-50 smite, but she would have lost an entire wave. So any way that went, that was still okay for us, as long as we didn't lose the dragon, of course. Okay, and my Syndra is feeding. This Syndra was kind of a pain to play with. Later on you'll see she challenges me for every bit of farm and makes it so hard for me to farm. Okay, I think, yeah, I get a kill here. Trying to prevent my Thresh from dying, but he decides to go in. Anyway, I think he would have died anyway, so it was a good decision. We get a kill onto me, which is solid. Got a little bit of a CS lead, but she's got one more kill than I do, so we're about even. As a kill's worth about 20 CS, and that's about... So she's a little bit ahead of me, actually. Yeah. And then this was me overstaying. So we didn't have vision here, and we just had the Lee Sin over here killing Thresh. I should have just backed off. I should have known he was coming, because that's what I would have done if I was jungling there. So that was just me not respecting that, and I just instantly die here. And Xayah is fed. Okay, so any lead that I had is now gone, but I do have a little bit of bright spot where I have my first completed item at 15 minutes, so not terrible. She's half an item up on me, which sucks, but not a bad spot to be in on Miss Fortune with Essence Shooter. And at this point I noticed that they're all top, Senna and Miss Fortune, so I just hard shove this, trying to get some sort of advantage for us. And then I see Tryndamere mid, so I know I can shove this and get this full tower. Only reason I didn't finish shoving this was I failed to keep track of everybody as they came down from here. If I'd been paying more attention, I could have shoved in one more wave, but it's okay to back here, I think. Just want to be safe and not die, even though it leaves the wave in kind of a bad spot. Luckily Senna's being nice here and just shoving it out for us. Just putting down some vision. CF immediately clears that vision. We have a solid outplay on this Xayah. She gets a little bit overconfident, and I know that I have flash and heal, so I try to help out try to get some damage down on my ultimate. I back off before Twisted Fate can freeze me and before she can feather dagger me to death. She uses her flash offensively here to get the snare on us, but she can't put enough damage down, so I heal and flash, get a nice shutdown out of her. So I got 700 gold from that, which is solid. And a little bit of BM with the mastery flash, but I've kind of earned that one. That's okay. And this should lead to an easy dragon for us, which looks like it doesn't. Oh, we didn't go there because Twisted Fate and Lee Sin were still alive and healthy, and we've got the Rift Herald, so it makes sense. I think I die. I do die. So let's see how we die. So I'm walking up with my team here, trying to get some vision control on this dragon. I think, oh hey, I can go get this honey fruit, which then Senna comes up, W's me. Once I get hit by that W, I'm just dead. So it's good that my team wins me. So that, my friends, was an unintentional int. But those happen sometimes. Okay, so all my team's mid, so there's no real point in me going there. So I gotta go bottom to catch this wave. Get shoved out. I don't. Okay, I see Twisted Fate. I see Xayah. I saw one other person here, so Max that can come to me here too. Come to help them after getting that shoved out. So I got bottom shoved out, so this whole wave is dying, so they're losing a bunch of gold there. We were going to lose that tower regardless because it was pretty low, but I get the nice 25 gold from Shelly. Okay, and this time I'm just trying to stop their backs at this point because they're low, or well, Senna's low and Twisted Fate doesn't have any mana. So, and the more time of theirs we can waste, better. Because then that gives us time to go and take these jungle camps from them. Let's take a nice free wolf. I think that's all we take here. Let me go back to mid. Yeah, so Syndra overstayed here, and I think she baits me into dying. Did I die here? Yeah, she did bait. I should not have followed my team here. This was a bad move on my part. So let's see what actually happened. Okay, so all is good. I'm taking wolves, doing good things, getting things shoved out. Xayah's sitting there with 2 full items. I get a nice play on the Syndra. And Kane just goes in hard. Yeah, and then Thresh and I are just left holding the bag. So really after Syndra died there, just kind of got one shot. We should have just backed off, cleared the wave. Did get a couple flashes out of it, but it's not worth at all. So they get a tower here. Same kind of reason the Syndra was preventing me from farming mid, so I just went top to get that while it was near our side of the map. Didn't want to go too far off of it though, because I don't have that much vision on this side of the map. It. So we had just seen a couple people mid. Yeah, we just see Twisted Fate mid, and I think we see Lee Sin. So I'm about to just face rush this bush, and I realize that's a bad idea, so I back off. And move left, so we can just set up on dragon. Here's the plan. It's kind of a waste of my ultimate, but if he'd gotten CC'd a little bit more, it would have done some good damage. They get a massive amount of kills here, so let's see what happens. Aatrox is going in. I'm getting some chip damage down onto the Xayah because she's the biggest threat at this point, right? She's 8-2. The Twisted Fate is 6-2, but he doesn't actually do that much damage. Most of his damage is just doing CC for his team, and then he gets cleanup kills. But yeah, I think he just collapses on me. Yeah, collapses on me with the Tryndamere, and I just die here. Do I? Yeah, I die here because the Tryndamere can just chase me down. I remember because I was sad that I'd just gotten QSS and I had to use it on the Tryndamere slow, and I wasn't able to get out. Because the main reasons they should kill me, the main reasons they can kill me are if they snare me with Senna or Xayah, or from Twisted Fate. Okay. So I didn't actually die from that. So we died on the re-engage after we'd already lost the dragon, pretty much. We went back in, so we prolonged that fight for no reason. I should have just backed off after after it was clear that we weren't going to get that dragon. I was able to get away without dying to the Tryndamere. Should have just left. Should have just pinged my team back. They may or may not listen, but at least that would have been a more solid play. Kind of tunnel visioned there. Okay, and then Thresh ints. Well, he doesn't int, but he dies there. Just able to save this inhibitor. Now I'm just trying to find any sort of farm that I can get to. And barring that, then I just group with my team. Because we have a very strong team fight comp. The enemy team is much better at split pushing than ours is. But our team fight is very good. I think we start to get some kills here that turn it around. Yeah, I get a good ultimate here. I get some good damage down. We're not focusing the same people, which is a big problem. I want to try to focus whoever my team is focusing. And I want to try to stay behind these tanks. So I want to try to stay behind Aatrox, and I want to try to stay behind Thresh and King. I think we get some good cleanup kills here, yeah. Okay, I get a kill onto the Twisted Fate here. So we were able to get them split pretty well after we chunked out the Xayah. I believe I still die here because Xayah comes around and kills me. But overall, not the worst way this fight have gone. Now, I could have played this fight a lot better if I'd stayed back here when my team was fighting, because then we would have been able to just focus down the Twisted Fate. Xayah would have been around here. I just ult here, and that would have been very good because we have choke points on Miss Fortune's ultimates are huge. That would have been solid. But overall, that got us back into the game. That brought us within 5,000 gold, so not terrible. Just checking the jungle camps I can get, because Syndra still doesn't want to let me farm mid. Even though, well, I guess she is doing a good job of farming. But I want to be careful to not take my jungler's buffs when I'm behind. So even though I'm fairly strong right now, I've died 7 times. He's got no reason to trust me with those buffs, and that might force him to. That might lead him to AFK, which would suck. So at this point, I notice the enemy team is devoting a lot of people to bottom side because they're chasing Arcane, I believe. Yeah. So since I was up here getting the wave, I just start hard shoving this because I can see 4 out of 5 members of the enemy team. I think all 5 of them end up showing there. So I just shove this hard. Yep, they kill the Kayn. There's 4 of them bottom, so we don't know where one of them is. We don't know where Senna is. They use the TP mid, makes it this even more free. So we see Senna now. We know where all 5 of them are. We can just shove this, and we go ahead and get this tower. And then we get the inhibitor tower too. We don't know where they are now, so now I need to be a little bit careful. We see that they take dragon, so I know that somebody's going to be here soon. So, get this tower. I leave it with enough minions to kill it and force the Xayah flash, which is solid. And they end up collapsing on me from over here. But overall, 2 towers from just capitalizing on my team's getting caught out. It's not terrible. At this point, I'm dead. They fight over Baron. Enemy team gets Baron. I think they get an inhibitor here. Yeah, they get an inhibitor. Very important how I played that there. Actually played this team fight pretty well, I think. So I've got QSS, and that's going to help me against TF Gold card, I think, here. Dodge out the Lee Sin, get some chunk damage down. I healed for movement speed, which I didn't need to do. I dodged the one Twisted Fate gold card. Instantly QSS the second one, so we get a nice kill onto him. And then I end up dying to the Senna here. But that sets up a nice kill for my Syndra. So overall, we got 2 for 1 in that fight, which is pretty not bad. Not bad considering they had Baron. Or 2 for 2, because they ended up killing the King too. That's when they get Baron or inhibitor. But they're overstaying at this point, so we can get some good shutdowns. So now at this point, we've shut down everyone except... we've shut down everybody except Tryndamere. So we've gotten a lot of gold back into us. We're about 5,000 gold down, almost 6,000 gold, but we're closing that gap. Because at this point in the game, the gold is starting to mean a little bit less. I've got 2.5 items here. I'm going for Bloodthirster third instead of Rapid Fire here, because I want to make sure that I can sustain through fights, because my biggest problem is getting burst out. And that sustain here is actually what helps me live here. That and the QSS. QSS is huge. Looks like that actually made CF's team tilt a little bit, that he just died to me. But yeah, so the build here is what saved us. We started to go for Bloodthirster. I think we end up finishing up Bloodthirster pretty soon. We got 9 deaths here, and that was my last death of the game, was the 9th. Okay. Skipped forward a little bit too fast. Let's go ahead and see what happens here. So as I'm coming back from base, looks like they start a fight without me, as solo queue does. They get a nice burst kill, so not bad. I'm hesitant to go into this because it looks like it's just the Thresh, and I missed that the Kayn was still alive. But once the Aatrox spawns, or teleports, I go back in, we get a nice kill. I end up having to chase the Tryndamere a little bit, but yeah, Tryndamere kind of seals his own fate here. And I'm trusting the Aatrox to go ahead and kill that Lee Sin. So I should be able to chase down this Tryndamere. Yeah, he's pinging for my help. There's no reason for me to go to Lee Sin here, because they've already got 2 people there. And they can arguably catch him easier than I can. And then I catch him. So we end up acing them. I shove this down and I get a free tower. Normally I would back for these minions, but I saw that Kayn was backing and Aatrox, so I decided to press the advantage here until the enemy team spawns. Take what I can. I checked for red buff, and I used my team pinged me for using my ultimate here, but that was in my opinion, a good way to secure that dragon. So if Lee Sin wanted to steal that, if he was in position, just because we didn't have any vision here, he would have had to go into my ultimate and get heavily chunked just to give a shot at stealing the dragon. So I stand by that ultimate. Okay, and now we just want to group. Our inhibitor's respawning, so we've got a good chance of winning the game at this point, even though it looks like we're pretty far behind. We're only down 3,000 gold at this point because we've gotten so many shutdowns from capitalizing on our opponent's mistakes. So now I want to make sure that we have bot lane shoving for when Baron comes up here. So I go ahead and go bottom. I know that there's nobody who can be down here, except maybe Twisted Fate if he uses his ultimate, but he's mid, so it would take him a little bit. Get that shoved, and then we just back off. I think we have enough to finish some items here. No, we just want to go ahead and get to Dragon, or Baron. Get some vision set up. Yep. So I used... MF's ultimate generally becomes a zoning, or it can become a zoning tool later on in the game, because it does a lot of damage, but it's fairly easy to avoid if you're prepared for it. So you only really want to use it when your team lands a lot of CC, or in choke points, which I used it as a choke point here to discourage all of their CC and separate their team. So that separated the Twisted Fate. Well, he ends up going there, but it separates the Tryndamere, and then Lee Sin decides to separate himself. So we just focus him down, I believe. Okay, gets a nice hook onto the Xayah. I think I just burst her down here. She does get an ultimate though. Yep, she ultimates, but I think I'm still able to kill her. Yep, she flashes behind me. Okay. Finish off the Lee Sin. Aatrox and I both flash just to secure that kill because she is so important in these fights. She's the main one doing damage to us. She dies, like their entire team is basically useless except like Tryndamere, in my opinion. I'm sure that there's ways they can pull stuff off, but the easiest way for them to pull it off is just to protect Xayah. We try to head up towards Arcane here, try to keep him alive. He just destroys that Twisted Fate, and I leave him to chase the Tryndamere. No, I do help him out. Okay. So they're shoving in mid. This is a free Baron for us. So Aatrox and Thresh decide to not come help us, but we still get it duo, which is fine. They got the inhibitor top and mid, so solid. It was a solid call. We maximized our benefits there. So my last item, I think that's the last item I end up buying for the game, is Edge of Night, and I got that to further protect against their myriad of CC here. So unfortunately it goes down to Twisted Fate's ultimate, but at least at that point he doesn't know where I am until I walk next to Thresh. But still good item, especially when they have such a squishy team overall. The only one really building tank is Lee Sin, so the lethality is going to be nice, especially to kill Xayah and the Twisted Fate. I believe it gives me cooldown reduction too. No, it doesn't give me cooldown reduction. But still, lethality and damage is good. Use my ultimate in a choke point again. So I see that they're in a choke point. I get up into range. I think I get some good damage on them. And this, if nothing else, my ultimate here dissuades them from continuing to attack my team. And it chunks them out pretty hard. Chunks out the Senna pretty hard. So we're just using Baron to whittle down this turret. Kayn secures a third dragon for us. So both teams are on soul points. And I noticed the turret is so low I can just come walk up and auto it, which gives us a free kill onto Senna. And then it's a pretty easy win from here. I'm just running up to get the minions here. Just focusing the target next to us, immediately switching to Xayah when she gets in range. And we just want to zone the TF off. And avoid the Xayah route. And then we just get to end the game. So there was definitely part of this game where I did not think that we were going to win it. We got pushed back to our inhibitor. And we got pushed back to our inhibitor. And it was looking iffy there for a little bit. We had 9 deaths. Only 3 kills, 6 deaths here, but like we ended up going 9 deaths, and then we were able to bring it back just by playing to our strengths. So we used our ultimate in choke points to be able to chunk people out, play behind our team, and just focusing who was closest to us and catching some people out, getting some good picks helped us out a lot here. Things we still need to work on, vision. Still needs to get worked on. There was at least that one time where we got ganked bottom because we didn't have any vision here, and we got counter ganked by Lee Sin. So we got the 1 kill, but we ended up giving up 3 for it. So we still got to work on making sure we have consistent vision set up, or being aware of where everybody is on the map, and that's something we can always work at. CS, we ended up okay. We kept up with our opponent. I personally thought that Xayah was really good. So that was a fun game for me, playing against somebody that was good. That was really good in my opinion. So we kept up in CS with her. We ended up doing pretty well. Yeah, we ended up doing better in her than CS, and similar in KDM. We ended up bringing our KDA back so that we had 650 gold bounty. But we still died way too many times that game, and we had a lot of avoidable deaths. One being that gank down here, a couple times from just dying to TF in ultimates from when he got to stun us, into like Xayah just finishing us off. So a lot of things we can learn here. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my commentary for this League of Legends game, where we played Miss Fortune versus Xayah. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, please go ahead and like and subscribe for my next video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.